Hey folks, tonight's episode of Live from My Mother's Basement is brought to you by Paramount Bakeries. Fresh baked bread since 1924. My favorite is the Italian whole wheat. Find them on Instagram at Paramount Bakeries. You can also find your favorite Paramount Bakeries breads in your local grocery store. Hi, I'm Mike Marino, and this is a brand new episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this show. But welcome to another edition of Live from My Mother's Basement. And you can hear in the excitement of my voice.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually in the basement, the real basement, not California, not on the road, the real basement here in New Jersey with a very exciting new guest. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Nick, and I'm going to have him say his last name because it's a tongue twister. Say it.
Saglimbeni, but if you're Italian, you could say it's Saglimbeni. It rolls off the tongue a little better that way. Saglimbeni.
It rolls off your tongue. I don't know if I'm going to say that right. Saglimbeni? How do you say it?
In Italian, you say Saglimbeni.
Right.
But in American, it's Saglimbeni.
Saglimbeni.
They called me Sack of Pennies. They called me
Oh.
Sags, and a lot of funny nicknames growing up with that last name.
Well, it's nice to have a nickname because a nickname says, hey, I acknowledge you.
It means I like you. If we didn't make fun of you growing up, we didn't like you.
You know what? That's a fucking topic right there.
Yes, it is. It's a massive topic.
It seems like we stopped giving people nicknames.
Yeah.
Because if people might be afraid, I don't want to give them that nickname. He might be offended.
Yeah. Everyone's so worried about offending people nowadays. It takes the fun out of everything.
I remember when I was your age, we could say, is Chubby coming out tonight? And we all knew who he was. He was the fat guy.
Yeah.
We called him Chubby.
Yeah. And if you call somebody chubby when they're a kid, it might make them get their health in order, and then they'll be skinny later on in their life. But if you don't make fun of them, then they'll just continue going down the line and not knowing that they're chubby.
I agree. And that's
Right?
coming from a really young guy saying that with an older guy saying, I can't believe we don't do it anymore. It didn't mean, you didn't like the guy. You actually loved the guy. You respected the guy. Plus, they had Chubby and the Little Rascals.
Exactly. Who doesn't want that nickname? That just rolls off the tongue beautifully, actually. And by the way, I must let you know, this is a beautiful basement, by the way. It's almost as nice as my mother's basement, but it's a beautiful, beautiful place, all right? I'm glad you had me, Mike. I really do appreciate you having me come down.
I don't know where this all began. All I know is I've been in the basement in this house my whole life.
God
This
bless.
is all we knew. Everybody on this block, everybody in this neighborhood grew up in the basement.
Yep.
And before it was the basement, it was the cellar.
Remember that.
The cellar. Because we lived in the city, not New York City, Jersey City.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to the cellar. And when you were a little kid, your mother said, go down to the cellar and bring up a can of Coke. And you were petrified. I don't want to go down there.
Nikki, bring me a can of Diet Pepsi.
Right?
Yeah.
Or the health drink. Because I'm going to bring this up now, too. I
Crystal
bet you
Light.
That should be a commercial. Pay us.
Yeah.
Pay us.
Throw us a few dollars.
I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in you. No, not the Crystal Light, but we grew up on ginger ale.
That was the
Ginger
healthy
ale.
drink.
That was the drink that your mother said, what's the matter? Is your stomach bothering you?
Yeah.
Go downstairs and get a ginger ale.
If you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Settles the stomach down.
Right? Are you gassy? Are you feeling gassy? Go get the ginger ale.
Go enjoy a nice ginger
Right?
ale.
How about
and get
this
out
one?
of my face.
Oh, did you break your leg? Go get the ginger ale. What am I supposed to do? Rub it on my knee?
all types of remedies.
So you grew up in the basement.
Yeah, of course. I'm still there. I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving, Mike.
Hey.
I'm never
We're
leaving,
here.
baby. I don't care. You're going to have to pull me out of here with a bulldozer. I ain't leaving my mother's basement. What am I going to do? Go live in an apartment by myself and be depressed all the time? Come
Yeah.
on. I need my laundry done. I need my food made. You know what I mean? Come
That
on.
is hilarious. I need my laundry done. You know, it's funny. You were talking about the chicken cutlets, and I always thought it was just our family that had chicken cutlets that often. And when my mother made the chicken cutlets, you were just thrilled.
Yes.
'Cause she made them down here in the basement, although we ate them upstairs,
Yeah.
next to the stove upstairs, but
Yeah.
we didn't use that one. We only used this one
So you don't
here
want
in
to
the
get the
corner.
oil all over that
No,
stove.
you get it over down here, so you don't even have to clean up.
Yep.
So you made the chicken cutlets. You had it with your family. I have two brothers and my father, my mother. We were just sitting there, and then there was always a side of broccoli, mashed potatoes, corn, salad. Yep. But the next day, take it from there.
Yes,
take it from there, Nick.
You're making sandwiches. The cutlet is nice and a little bit harder, so it has a little bit more of a bite to it. And it's just, there's so many different things. You can make another chicken salad. You can make sandwiches, heroes. You can put some sauce on it, some cheese on it. There's no telling what you can do with those cutlets the next day. They're way better the next day, and they might be fine for a couple of days after that too, right, Mike?
See how I didn't even have to say anything?
Come on,
and then I want to cry because I wish it was back in that time.
Yeah.
Because the chicken cutlets the next day were in the refrigerator.
Yes.
And they were cold. And you put it in the microwave. If you put it in the microwave, your mother would slap the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You ain't putting that in the
you're
microwave,
gonna sog it up. Yeah. You're gonna make
it
make the breading all mushy.
So my mother would put it on the leftover Italian bread.
Yes.
And sometimes oil and vinegar on top of it with a little. Sometimes she used iceberg lettuce, but most of the time was that what's the healthiest lettuce?
Oh, romaine?
Oh, no. Romaine, yeah, but there's even one more.
The garden
not garden salad. Shit.
I'm not too good with healthy, as you can tell.
He's a pretty big dude. He's a big dude, man. He's gonna smash the shit out of somebody. Don't let that big smile fool you.
Used to be an athlete many moons ago.
Yeah, like one moon, one full moon again. What is he, like 19? Fucking. What the hell was that lettuce? But anyway, it was so good.
Yeah.
My mother always used oil and vinegar, and when you put that on the chicken cutlet, it was the best. Or balsamic vinegar.
Oh yeah, the balsamic. It was such a staple. That's what people don't realize. It was a staple for us growing up. You know?
Here's a curveball.
Yeah.
Did you ever put them in ketchup?
No, I don't.
We did. We dipped them in ketchup. I used to dip it in barbecue sauce.
I like hot sauce. I do like dipping in a little hot sauce. I won't lie. I have done it in a little hot sauce, but not the ketchup usually. Don't look at me like that, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, my mother would say, look at my three boys, they're mitigans.
Yeah.
Why are you putting ketchup on the chicken cutlet? I'll slap the shit out of you.
The disrespect is off the charts with that.
Huh?
Who doesn't put chicken cutlet on, ketchup on chicken cutlet?
Oh, you did?
Of course. Who doesn't do that? The next day, you have a nice chicken cutlet sandwich, a little ketchup, nice.
He's being real.
We just got interrupted by a fellow comedian. They call him pork chops. I really don't even know why.
These guys are dead.
He had his show once before.
Yeah, this guy's a dang. Get in here, bro. This is my boy right here. What are you doing?
I don't know if you know this, but every single one of us here is a dang.
And we eat chicken cutlets.
Yes, we do.
I would have a chicken cutlet with a cup of coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning before I went to school.
Listen, ask my dad, my bodyguard who I brought here. My mother made us chicken cutlet sandwiches this morning from the cutlets that she made yesterday. Did she not? I'm not BSing. She didn't want us to spend money on the Garden State on the way down here, so we had little sandwiches.
Yeah.
You know what's really great for me? That he actually said what my mother would say. Don't spend any money.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the parkway. I'll make the sandwiches.
Yep, exactly.
I'm going to cry. Because somehow traditions that I thought no longer existed do.
Yes.
No matter what. And it's good. It's good. And I hope everybody who's out there doing what you're doing on the internet swallows that and takes it forward, because eventually someday we're not going to be around. So you got to carry that torch.
100%.
Because in my family, when we were kids, that was my Uncle Tommy, that was my grandfather. Yeah. And the way they used to talk, my uncle used to go like this all the time. Yeah, once me and your Aunt Mary and your mother is gone, you're all going to be eating hot dogs out of the truck, you losers.
And he wasn't bullshit. He wasn't lying.
Did your mother make the chicken cutlets? All right, good. Get the hell out of the way while your uncle eats. Did you miss that?
It's a dying breed. That's a dying breed.
Yeah,
man.
But it's being carried on. I don't even know how we went to chicken cutlets. We just started the podcast. It
just happened.
But see, I told you, food is just the key to joy especially when you grow up Italian and you're down in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know there was an upstairs until I was 12.
That's one of the reasons you never leave, because the food's so good.
Yeah.
There's no reason to leave.
So we're hanging out here with Nick. Nick and I met on a commercial set.
Yes, we did.
And I'll start it off like this. I got the phone call from Mike Bevins.
Mikey.
How do you say his name?
Blevins.
Blevins.
Mikey Blevins.
Mike Blevins is a director in Los Angeles. I guess he's been doing a lot of cool projects.
Yes.
He's a friend of an acquaintance and many different friends. And that's the way things really work most of the time in showbiz.
Yep.
And I get the phone call and he says, listen, I'm doing a test TV commercial. We're going to go over to, what's that famous guy's name? The Mexican actor.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo's place. So I thought he said, Danny Trejo is doing a commercial. Why don't you come and be in it?
Oh.
So I'm like, all right.
That was probably part of his pitch to you, to try to confuse you.
I'm like, if I can meet Danny Trejo, I'm going to tell him, could you be on my podcast or some shit?
I love him so much. Machete kills.
He's great, man.
He's the best, man.
So he asked me to come down there, and I says, all right, let's go have some fun. I didn't even know, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, because this is the genius of a young up-and-coming performer, right? I pull into the parking lot. And when you were coming over to the car, you're like, wow, I can't believe it. There he is, Mike Marino. I'm saying to myself,
I'm a fan first. So
No, but
I was very excited to see it.
I thought you were the parking attendant. I'm like, what the fuck you doing here? It's like 6 o'clock in the morning.
It was pitch black.
Yeah,
Nobody else was in the parking lot but me.
No. And we talk about Hollywood, which is a bad neighborhood.
And I didn't know. I'm sitting there thinking that I'm fine. And he goes, you know where you are right now, kid? I go, I guess ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yeah, like you're in a bad neighborhood. Yeah. Stop talking so loud. We're going to get busted.
Yeah.
So then we talked a little bit, and I found out, okay, now he's doing some great stuff with social media, because I didn't know. Yeah. And when I met the rest of the guys, I knew Paul Costable. That's do you know who he is?
I know he does the interviews with a lot of the big celebrities on, is it E or one of those networks?
He's been around a while.
Yeah, and he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey like us.
He's originally from New Jersey.
So he's a Jersey kid. I think he went to St. Joe's.
That I don't know.
Montvale, but it's a small world. Very, very small world.
We're being interrupted again by the
Paul is also Italian.
I'm going to have to sign 2 release forms. Would you leave me alone?
My boy Pork
There's more paperwork now. Anyhow, so we go down there. We get ready to do this commercial, which was going to be an improv, a spoof on the mob, let's say.
Yeah.
And he says, do you mind if I call my mother? I want my mother to know that I'm doing this with you. Now, here's the throw. I was kind of like, wow, that's so cool. But I did that. I did that exact same thing. When I first started doing sketch comedy on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, there was no such thing as cell phones, no such thing as Facebook, FaceTime.
Yeah.
You had to collect calls back in the day and ask your mother if she didn't mind paying for the long distance phone call, which was a lot of money at the time, and you got that bill. So I would go into the green room of The Tonight Show and make phone calls so that I didn't have to spend my money. I was spending their money at NBC. Well, I don't know if you know Dom DeLuise.
Yes, of course.
Well, Dom DeLuise was on the show. And I had done a cooking show with Dom DeLuise once before at the Feast of San Gennaro, which they had in Los Angeles at one time. I was actually on the board of directors. We created the Feast of San Gennaro in Los Angeles for like 12 years. This is in the early 2000s when they had never done anything like this before.
And they needed it.
Yeah, they needed it because there wasn't that many Italians in Los Angeles. So I saw Dom DeLuise. And much like you, I'm like, Mr. DeLuise, would you mind if I call my mother? She's not going to believe you're here. And he goes, okay. So I call my mother, collect call from Michael. Will you accept the charges? Ma, say yes. Say yes. She says yes. I go, Mom, with Dom DeLuise. No, you're not.
I don't believe it.
No, you're not. I says, Mom.
Why does his mother sound like my mother, too?
Yeah. Now, if you know Dom DeLuise, he was always with Dean Martin, the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
He did a lot of movies with
Kirk, shit, I can't think of his
Those
name.
guys were the best. The absolute
But he was
best,
famous
man.
for a movie too called Fatso, which was about an Italian family always eating what they said gravy or sauce in the basement. So I put my mother on the phone with Dom DeLuise, half hour, talking on the phone.
Wow.
Jay Leno comes into the green
Humble
room.
guy.
I'm sitting there, and he goes, "What are you doing?"
We got a show. We got a show, people.
Would you get up here?
That's why you guys are getting paid to be here.
And Dom DeLuise goes like this, "Mrs. Marino, if you make your sauce like this, it'll taste like this." "No, I don't know." "Okay, what's the recipe? Can I call you later?" That's how nice he was to my mother.
Yep.
Then we went upstairs and did the show. Imagine that.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened when I met Mike, because Mike's a legend around the comedy world, especially the New York Italian comedy world. And a lot of his bits are legendary. People know off the back of their hand. And me, my mother and father are huge fans of Mike. Well, my mother especially. I even showed Mike. She posted him a couple of weeks ago, still on our Facebook. Every couple of weeks she posts some of his stuff. She goes, "Please make sure you show Mike when you get there that I did his post." So anyway, we're doing the commercial, and I'm in the we're about to do the commercial, and I'm in the parking lot, and Mike pulls up. And I asked him, I said, my mother loves you. Can we call her? He spent 20 minutes on a FaceTime with my mother while we're all doing makeup, running around, trying to figure out who's going to say what, who's going to be in this scene, who's going to be in that scene. He spent 25 minutes FaceTiming with my mother. And that meant the world to me, Mike. I just want you to know
That's great.
Really meant the
You
world
got
to
it,
me,
man.
brother.
You got it.
Really, really.
Well, we're going to
meant
be
the world
doing more and more things. Come a little closer to me. I want to just get you in a big shot. Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody exactly what we did? Because the commercial came out really, really great.
Yes, it
and
did.
You don't have to be Italian to laugh at this shit. It's fucking hilarious.
The commercial came out amazing, and that's why I wanted to do it with Mike, because Mike's a genius. Everything he does, I knew he would put us in a good light. That's why I wanted to do it. And when I got down to LA, he told me, he goes, Mike's gonna play the boss. He's like, "I got Mike to play the boss." I'm like, no, you didn't. He's like, "Yeah, I did. He's gonna play the boss." So we were just super amped about that.
This particular TV commercial is, sometimes they make commercials that are a test to see if the pun or the writing or the style of the commercial is right for the product.
Correct.
So I guess that's what we were actually doing. I actually didn't know, and this is one of those commercials where they don't hand you a script. I don't know if you knew. Did you know?
No, there was no script. No.
You didn't know what the idea was?
I knew what the idea was, but I didn't have a script. I didn't know what the lines were going to be until we got there, and he said, say this, so say that.
Right.
What should we, Yeah.
Tell them how this actual commercial goes.
So, well, we did two versions of it, but my favorite version, it goes where I am eating a frozen pizza, and I think it's good. And for Italians, it's sacrilegious to eat frozen pizza. It's a no. You don't do that. You have, especially where we're from, there's beautiful pizza shops on every corner with fresh dough, and it's a sin to go into a supermarket and buy a frozen pie when you have those beautiful pizzas all over the place, right? It's an absolute sin. So, in this commercial, I try the frozen pizza, and I actually like it, and I'm trying to tell Mike and the rest of the gang, who Mike is the mob boss, I'm one of his minions, and I'm trying to explain to Mike and the rest of the crew that the frozen pizza is actually really good. You guys should try it. So they thought that was very disrespectful. They ended up tying me up and throwing me in the freezer at the end of it.
It's actually so well done.
It was.
Because it's a basic spoof on the mob.
Correct.
The joke is we're mad that he ate frozen pizza. Mm-hmm. But one of the extended spoofs is out of Goodfellas when they put Carbone in the freezer and he's frozen. So we put him in the freezer. Well, I didn't put him in the freezer. The big hitman picks him up, throws him in the freezer. And here comes the tag in the joke.
Oh, yeah.
The one guy samples the frozen pizza and goes, it's pretty good. So then I eat it and I go, oh, Get him out of the freezer. Get him out of the freezer.
It is good. Get him out of the freezer.
And then we open the door. He's in there frozen like
I'm already
carbone.
dead. At that point, I'm already gone.
He's all blue.
They sprinkled the powder on me.
He's all
everything.
blue and he's standing there with his mouth open. And it's genius.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It was an improv.
Yes, it was.
They actually said, here's the idea.
Correct.
And he really didn't he directed the scene, but not the dialogue.
Correct.
We were just given the opportunity to rip. And when you're on a set like this and the chemistry is working and nobody steps on the other guy's line and it comes out because he had to play the petrified guy.
Yep, I was tied up. He had me tied up. I'm petrified, tied up, and he's the boss about to lay down vengeance on me.
And we looked so serious
Yeah.
about this that's where that joke comes from. And it hits home when that freezer door opens and you've never seen this commercial. You have got to laugh your nuts off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember
It
when they
was
first
great.
showed it to me, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I showed my friends, my family. They thought it was super funny. I was super proud of it.
Now,
It was great.
you're where you originally from?
So I'm from Rockland County, New York, right over the Tappan Zee Bridge. But my whole family's from the Bronx. So my mother and father are from the Bronx, and my
Born in the Bronx.
oh, here comes my dad correctly. I was born in the Bronx too, but grew up in Rockland County. But I kind of get the accent in the house from them, like my mother, my father, her family. Yeah, so Rockland County, New York, baby. Shout out. Rockland County's finest.
Rockland County, New York.
You know where Rockland County
That's
is?
pretty far up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right on the border of North Jersey. So Bergen County, it's right on the border of Bergen County, Montvale specifically.
Right. Montvale's like the last
Yes.
exit before you leave the state of New Jersey headed north.
Exactly. So coming down here was like I was going down to the Jersey Shore. A couple more exits and we're at the shore, right, Mike?
Yeah, well, about another hour you'll be down on the Jersey
Another
Shore,
hour.
which we'll probably get down there someday. I'll go see. Well, I got to get in the water. I got to go surfing. So when you're born up that way, that's where you were born and raised, you grew up and whatnot. What made you want to get into, let's say this is showbiz?
Yeah. So I always, guess, was a class clown growing up. I always liked entertaining people, always never could shut up. And people always trying to shut me up, and I've never shut up. I'm sure you could tell. And, originally I was an athlete growing up. And
Yeah, you're a pretty big guy.
yeah, I played football in college. I had dreams of going to the NFL, as I'm sure every kid does growing up. But when that didn't work out, I went into, followed the normal route that most people do, which is, get a 9 to 5, work in an office. I did sales, actually, phone sales for a while in New York City, working out of an office. And I just wasn't passionate about it. It just felt like, it was kind of like sucking the life out of me slowly, day by day, where I just felt like I was losing my passion for life. And felt like I wanted to do more. So I started the Instagram page for fun, because I was kind of bored, and just wanting to have fun with people in my neighborhood and, make some outlandish videos. And a couple of them took off. And we just tried to keep the momentum going from there, just keep going on with the videos. And now I have a pretty decent following on Instagram and TikTok. And, just trying to get into, some of the acting stuff a little bit, like, we talked about the commercial and like some other stuff going on. And possibly some stand-up if I ever grow a pair of balls, I would love to follow in your footsteps one day, so.
So
like
you
that.
didn't, were you, class clown? Do you do plays in school?
No,
High
I didn't do any
school?
plays in school. I was an athlete in school. I played football and basketball in high school. Didn't do any plays, but I always,
Basketball?
I played. I played basketball until I realized that at about 15 years old that I had no chance of playing college ball or making it to the NBA when I seen these 15-year-old kids in the layup lines dunking. So I said, I think I'm done with basketball now after that.
You don't really see many Italians playing basketball. Right?
No.
Anthony, do the loop. What?
Yeah, Luigi, shoot that 3-ball. Yeah, for good reason.
Put the pizza down.
Yeah.
The ball slipped, had the oil.
This isn't soccer.
Why didn't you go? You didn't try as good. I had money on the game.
Hey, there you go. Now we're talking. They Tommy DeVito.
So you get out of high school,
Yeah.
and what were you doing as far as work?
So I after high school, I went to college. I went to Pace University. I played football there. Then I transferred to a school called Framingham State, which is up outside of Boston. That's where I originally graduated from. Graduated there, and then came home and started working in the city. 9 to 5 gig, commuting in and out.
You commuted from Rochester to the city?
From Rockland.
Oh,
County.
Rockland.
Yep, commuted
Isn't
from
that
Rockland.
far?
Yeah, it was about an hour and 20-minute commute both ways.
Train.
Train, bus. Yep, trains and buses.
So you worked in the city.
Yep.
So for everybody who's watching, once again, the slang, the city.
Yes,
it's Manhattan.
Correct.
There's a lot of people from the outer boroughs meaning places like Brooklyn, Staten Island, Long Island, Queens, Rockland County, Jersey, Connecticut. Everybody funnels in to the island that's called Manhattan. For some reason or other, a long time ago, it got nicknamed the city from everybody in the outer boroughs. I didn't even know I was making a mistake when I said it till I moved to California. And people said to me, "You went where?" I said, "Well, I went to the city." "What city?" "The city by the..."
The city.
The city. Which you had to tell them, "Oh, Manhattan."
Yep.
I never even knew there was such thing as a Manhattanite, a person who grew up in the city who's from Manhattan, New York City, New York. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will tell you, "Yeah, I'm from New York." And they're like, "Where in New York?" "Oh, Brooklyn."
Yep. And
And I was like, "Oh, so you're not from the city?"
Exactly. And where I'm from, like I said, Rockland County, a lot of us consider any borough the city too. Something like, I guess if you're from the Bronx, you consider only Manhattan the city, right? But if you live outskirts, you would say maybe some people would even consider Brooklyn the city,
So what exactly was the job in the city that you did?
I did phone sales. I did a lot of different phone sales. I did a bunch of different things. I sold credit repair services. I sold digital marketing.
So like
a lot of things.
Telemarketing?
Yeah, basically telemarketing, exactly.
And
Use my gift of gab.
So when did this start that you wanted to do, that you started doing the internet type thing? How long you been doing it?
So this October is going to be 2 years. I've been doing the internet, the social media stuff. Really during COVID, when we were all locked down and a lot of influencers kind of blew up on social media during that time. I was watching it a lot. Me and my friends would watch a lot of videos. We would, send a lot of videos back and forth to each other. And then, a little bit after COVID, about 2021, going into 2022, I started making my own stuff, and it just kept going from there. Basically.
Right. So now is that all you're doing?
Yeah. So I'm doing this full time now, doing the TikTok and the Instagram full time, and then I'm getting a little bit into the acting stuff. But yeah, all my energy's going into this right now.
Well, you have a flair for being funny.
For coming from you, that means a lot.
When we were on the set, I'm like, this guy must be a comedian, because we were laughing, and most people who've never worked in that capacity would be in a panic.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have been able to have done what you did.
Oh, thank
So
you.
when I was there, I just figured this guy must be doing this for quite some time, because every time the director said, "You need to look like you're in a panic. Go like this, go like that, do like this," you would do it right on cue, and he would do it. So I'm kind of looking at the other guys like, "Oh, this kid's the real deal. Let's bring it."
Yeah.
Oh,
that means a lot coming
the
from
more
you,
you brought
Mikey.
it, the more I tried to look like a real mob boss.
Oh, you killed it, bro. We were so happy to have you. We're like, "Oh, we got Mike for the mob boss. We're good to go."
I really never even get to do that, because sometimes I can't stop laughing.
Oh yeah. YouTube said, he goes, dude.
Well, when that
He whips a pizza at me like it's a gun, but it's really a slice of pizza. I'm sitting there. He goes, whoosh. And he was so serious.
That's
the look
really-
on his face like he was gonna kill me.
That's a really
so
good
good.
scene too, because he's
really
like
good.
this, "Play with the tools," and I picked up that knife like in Goodfellas.
Yeah. He's looking at it. He's looking at while I'm tied up behind
I didn't
him.
even know what the hell we were talking about. They came out so damn good.
Oh no.
I wish we could have been just filming and filming and filming, and
Oh my God, we can make a TV show out of that.
we're probably gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know. They're all really, really good guys.
Yeah.
Now, I've noticed on the internet that you're part of another project. Can you talk about it?
Yes. You talking about the Jailhouse Jerky Crew?
Yes.
Yes. So I'd love to talk about that. That's something I'm really excited about. It just, it's a TV show that I'm playing a role called Nick DeGuido in. It's about a group of mob guys who get out of jail and they're trying to make good with the boss. And they think of an idea, or they hatch this plan to steal a truckload of electronics, but they end up finding out that it's not electronics, it's actually beef jerky. So now they got to figure out how they're going to sell the beef jerky, and it's a comedy that doesn't take itself too serious. Got Tony Darrow in it, who's from Goodfellas and Sopranos. Paul Borghesi's the director. He's the one who cast me for it. I actually met him through Bruce, who's close friends with Mike. And it's something I'm really excited about. It's out on Tubi right now, called The Jailhouse Jerky Crew. You guys could stream it.
The Jailhouse Jerky Crew is streaming on, what'd you say it's on?
So
Tubi.
it's on Tubi right now, but it's also going to be on Prime Video and YouTube TV Plus. But right now it's just on Tubi.
How many episodes did they do?
So we just did the pilot episode. So it's just a pilot episode that's up there. It's kind of like a proof of concept type of thing. And then we're going to see how it goes from there. Hopefully shoot some more episodes after the public gets their eyes on it.
That's really great. Now, Bruce Sosha, who is a mutual friend, he's been in a lot of movies, doing a lot of TV shows.
Great
I know
actor.
he's working with Mike Blevin right now in Los Angeles on
Yes.
something.
Yes, they're doing a pilot for a TV show called Cougar, which is a character that he's used in some of his movies before. But yeah, they're shooting that right now. And Mike and Bruce are great people, great people. Me and Mike both know them very well.
Yeah.
And, they're great guys and really gave me some good opportunities.
Super cool people. And we got to continue with the success of this type of a thing.
Yeah.
So have you been approached by like agents and managers or people who want to continue moving you forward in the industry?
So I haven't. I've spoken to some people about how to get management or representation, but right now I'm just kind of doing it all by myself, emailing people. People reach out to me of DMs and stuff like that. So I'm kind of just hightailing it, bootstrapping it kind of right now. But I'd like to, get some management moving forward.
And are you have people coming at you and saying, hey, could you come over and you do a video about their product and come to their restaurant and they pay you a certain amount of money and you put them all over the internet?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm doing a lot of videos like that where I'll go to a lot of bagel places, like one around here called Bagel Bazaar. Have you ever been there?
No.
Very good bagel place. They stack the cream cheese very high. They respect the schmear. And so I do a lot of local places like that, delis, pizza shops, bagel places, and even some brands I've worked with too. So
this is great. So if you watch on his Instagram, folks, you watch on his TikTok, you look at his social media, he came up with this tagline called Respect the Schmear. Am I saying it correctly?
Perfect, Mike.
Respect the schmear. In the stand-up world, this would be a tag. This would be a callback. This would be a through line. The through line is really his personality, his life, but the tag will always be respect the schmear, which is original. I don't think I've ever heard that in my entire life. A lot of people know the word schmear. If you don't, I don't know what rock you've been living under. Sometimes you do go to places and they give you a very disrespectful schmear, and you look at the person going, what am I supposed to do with this little sliver of cream cheese?
And Mike knows, especially in the Italian-American world and household, it's all about respect. You don't want to get disrespected in any way, whether it's your cream cheese, getting made fun of. It's all about respect. So respecting the schmear is something that's very high on all of our
because you want to get your
lists.
money's worth.
Correct.
And you want to have a delicious thing. Now, we all live in the tri-state area, which is where the food is the best, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Boston, Chicago, New York, New Jersey. Yeah. You go to some other places, they might not really even know what a schmear is. Like if you were in Texas and you said, give me a schmear, they might look at you and go, what do you say, Bubba? There ain't no schmear here. Hold on a minute. Annabelle, do you know a person named Schmear? You know what I mean? That might not happen over there. But over here, this is something that it's almost commonplace.
Exactly.
And if you go to New York City or a lot of different places and you order just a bagel, they're going to load that shit up with whatever you ask to be put on it.
Yes.
And That's when you know you're going to eat good.
Yeah, and the world today. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
No, let's go ahead.
The world today, everybody's so worried about counting their calories. All these businesses are worried about profit margin, so they give you a small amount of everything you order. So everybody's always so worried about calorie counting and all this. Just respect this schmear and enjoy yourself a little bit. All right, that's what it's about.
You have to watch these videos because now the ones that I've been watching, when he goes into these places, he's very nice to the people who work there, very respectful. And I guess they know that they're being filmed, or maybe you set it up before you do it. I don't want to know the answer. I just want to enjoy. But I've seen you make them they seem like they were going to do it no matter what. Too much. Just too much. I've seen you put 3 inches of cream cheese on a bagel, and the bagel's not even an inch high itself. And the way he talks and the way he goes about it. Now, I, as a foodie, I'm looking going, that looks great.
It looks good, right?
It's going to make a mess.
For some reason, it just looks good.
But it makes you want it.
You want it for some reason. You want that schmear at that moment through the.
Also, I saw you at this place. It was a Mexican joint, and he put too much chicken and too much whatever. But it seemed like they were going to do it with or without you. I don't know. It was just so much, and this lady's rolling it. I'm like, that sandwich is big enough for 4 people.
Listen, when I get the bagel with cream cheese, now I have cream cheese for a couple days now. When I get the big burrito, I can come home and share it with the family, and they can have some burrito too,
All right. Well,
like we said, it's all about respect. I want a respectful burrito, a respectful schmear of cream cheese, all right? I don't want to be disrespected. That's what it comes down to.
One of the greatest things, ladies and gentlemen, about watching it's fun. It's just fun.
Oh, thanks,
you
Mike.
can't get mad. You just feel like pinching his cheeks and saying, okay, where are you? Because I want to go there. And then you got to wait till the end, and he tells you. But while he's doing it, you're like, I fucking want one. I want one.
Oh, that's a great compliment coming from you, Mike.
Tell everybody, though, about the biggest bagel wherever the hell you were. It's like bagel was like the size of it. Looked like it was 2 feet around.
Oh, yeah. That was Utopia Bagel in Queens. They're famous for a giant bagel they make. And, we're doing the whole schmear shtick. I said, I got to go there and put as much cream cheese as I can on that bagel. I actually ended up taking a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket with me, and I filled it halfway with cream cheese. And that was about $100 worth of cream cheese. I couldn't afford any more cream cheese that day.
How'd you do that?
So I no one knows this except my dad because he watched me get ready for the video. But I went to the supermarket and I bought little containers of cream cheese, and I went home and scooped them all into a 5-gallon bucket and brought it into the Utopia.
How long did that take?
It took me a little while. It was hard to scoop it out of there and get it in. So I didn't fill the whole bucket, but I filled about half of the 5-gallon bucket. Went down to Utopia. The guy baked the massive bagel right in front of me. And the thing about Utopia Bagels too is they're very the owner's very passionate. Just how you're very passionate about what you do. I'm passionate. He's very passionate about bagels. So that's why they have some of the best bagels in the game, and it was just a great experience to go down there. And that was one of my favorite videos. He did that video back in January. That's one of my favorite ones for sure.
When it comes to, let's say, bagels, there's Corey's Bagels in Chicago, and I'm going to hook you up with these guys. Corey's Bagels in Chicago, he's originally from New York, and he makes incredible bagels of every flavor. And then he also makes sandwiches out of the bagel. So you can have a turkey on a bagel. You can have cream cheese on a bagel. You can have ham and cheese on a bagel. I don't know what the signature sandwich is from your area, but in New Jersey would be pork roll, egg, and cheese on the bagel. What you guys?
We do bacon, egg, and cheese, we say. And I guess that would be the go-to, the bacon, egg, and cheese.
It's just the best. And, some people put ketchup on it. Some people will say, get that fucking ketchup off my sandwich.
Some people do butter. My father likes butter. He turned me on to that. Butter's
Butter,
pretty good.
makes it a little slippery.
Yeah.
Good for the heart. Good for the heart.
For the heart. For the heart, kid.
Here's the way I roll, and you let me know.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have a flavored cream cheese, my bagel's plain. If I'm going to have my favorite everything bagel, my cream cheese is plain.
I agree with that.
I don't like to mix up my flavors.
That's respectable. You got to keep things
I
separate.
respected the schmear.
You gotta have some method to the madness. So I like the way Mike's thinking about it. You can't just be going in there crazy with different flavors and different bagels. You gotta have an idea of what you want. Keep it copacetic.
Here's what I can't do, and I won't do, and I can't believe people do it. Lox.
You mean the lox cream cheese or the actual
Lox on a
slice?
bagel.
Like the sliced fish?
They're fucking disgusting. You do it?
I don't, but I don't know. And if I do, it would have to be a very thin piece of lox, very thin with a lot of cream cheese. I don't want to bite into a salmon.
I never liked it. It looks very Jewish to me. Not that I
Just
got
like the
anything
word
against
schmear.
Jewish people. Well, yeah, that schmear's Jewish.
I think it is a Yiddish word.
Yeah.
That's what people tell me. They go, "Why are you talking about your Italian? Why are you talking about schmear?" I go, "Well, you know what? There's a lot of Jews and Italians in New York, so it could be that."
Nobody knows food better than the Jews and the Italians.
Tell you that
And if
right
you're in New York and you hear somebody go like this schmear was like not even there. He probably knows good schmear.
now. Why do they all sound like that?
You call that a lock?
They all sound like a doctor.
Yeah,
The
right.
schmear was not there. They sound like my
The
pediatrician.
hemorrhoids.
Yeah, they all sound like doctors.
Oh, they were coming out of my ass. That's not a good schmear.
The schmear. Really there.
When I was a kid, there was schmears.
You want to talk about schmears? You can talk about schmears.
Where you from? Borough Park. Where you from? Sheepshead Bay. Give me that. Get that fucking lock off my sandwich.
Yeah, get that bullshit off my bagel, cousin.
I think, and it's my opinion, that your personality is what's going to lead you into a career as a performer. Now, I always said that I was an entertainer because I didn't want to be just a stand-up comedian. I want to be an actor. I wish I could sing, but I can't. I like to play the drums. I like to be part of an ensemble. There's nothing better than doing stand-up comedy and having an audience lose their mind over what you're doing, because the high that you get is better than any schmear, is better than sex, it's better than smoking pot. It's the greatest feeling, and you'll Jones for it. You're going to want it all the time.
Yeah.
So when I see what you're doing, I'm saying to myself, let's get this guy on stage with us, because when we go out on tour and we do my tour called Welcome to the Family, it's about the family getting together to go make people happy. So Respect the schmear actually fits into the family. And a lot of the guys that I work with and that like crazy over there, pork chops, we all have our rhythm, but it's all about the family.
It's all about the famiglia.
Yeah.
I'd love to be a part of the family, Mike.
I think it would be fun. Besides, if you get on stage and you start off as the host of the show, if you run out of jokes, you just hand the baton over to the next guys.
Yeah.
And away we go. And at the end of the show, we're going to be doing this thing that's going to make you laugh your ass off. It's called dancing like we're in the 80s. But since you're a lot younger than we are, you would dance really well. We just break bones and fall down on the ground.
I can't.
We
dance
get
at all
winded.
either. Only thing I can do is the fist pump. A little. That's about where I leave it at, Mike.
Okay, but see, that would be great. All right, we got one of the new dances. Just got hired. We looked at over 500 dances, but the fist pump, you're the only one. He throws his shoulder in there too. He's the only one that put that in there. These us older guys, we couldn't do that. We'd be like, ow, 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 Anthony, get the schmear.
Me and Mike used to frequent the same clubs on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
I wish. Half the clubs I frequented back in the 80s are gone. They got rid of all of that stuff.
Oh man, I wish I was alive in the 80s. If that was the stories you hear. Now there's a camera on every corner. You can't get away with nothing. You can't say nothing. You can't make fun of anybody.
Yep. Right?
But we're trying to keep that alive.
Back in the 80s, man. You were where? Over there.
No
sure,
one knew where
man?
you were. You
Check.
didn't have a device clocking where your location was at all times.
Here's
No
what-
one knew where you were. You weren't home. You weren't home. Too bad.
You went out. Where you
I'll
going?
call you back
Out.
next week.
Watch this. I was gonna call you. I didn't have any quarters.
I saw you beat me.
Yeah, I couldn't read it because I was in the club.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
couldn't
you-
get to a payphone.
You were the 411.
Now your girl calls you 14 times while you're trying to have dinner.
Now they FaceTime you. You don't
Yeah.
even know you're on camera.
They know where your location is. They know where everybody is. You people posting pictures of the location.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So your shirt says Sons of Italy.
Yes.
Tell everybody.
Sons of Italy, baby. This is the Rockland Lodge. Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong side. I'm looking at the camera. Rockland Lodge 2176. I'm a part of it. Great group of guys down there. We just actually transported a Columbus statue that was discarded into the river in the south. They restored it and sent it up to us. But a lot of good guys up there. The director for the Jailhouse Jerky crew, Paul Borghese, he's actually my sponsor who got me in there and introduced me to all the guys there. And we actually shot the Jailhouse Jerky crew, a lot of it in the Sons of Italy in Rockland and Blauvelt there. And actually, the whole pilot episode was shot in Rockland County. So I'm very glad to be a part of it. Very excited to be a part of it. I got to get my father in now. He's getting in on the next.
Being part of one of these clubs is a wonderful thing
Yes.
because it's all about community.
Yes.
Everybody does the right thing. You know where there's going to be a Christmas party. You know where there's going to be a fundraiser. You know where there's going to be a meeting at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, with some of my friends in Los Angeles, we created the first ever Hollywood Lodge, 2809. We lasted for
wow.
about 10 years, then it dissolved, sadly. But I was the president, vice president, sergeant at arms, all of that stuff. You wear the regalia.
Yeah.
Then you realize everybody in here is in mob movies.
And you realize it's old school, you know? That's what you appreciate about it,
Yes.
too. You know, a bunch of old school guys going and hanging around, you know, especially with the world today with all the different agendas out there and everything. It's nice to just keep tradition in some form or the other. So that's what's really nice about it, too.
Well, we have some pizza sitting on the bar right now, and we're
You're
going to
looking
taste
at
some Jersey pizza. This is from Grano on Park Avenue right here in my hometown of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. And we asked Nino to come over here and give us a couple of slices so that I can have this New Yorker talk about a Jersey slice of pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So I chose from the pie, which is slang for pizza. Do you say pie?
Oh, it's a pie, yeah. It's so funny when you say that. People are like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm
It's
going to
a
get a
pie.
pie. You mean an apple pie? No, a pie, a pizza.
A pizza
Come
pie.
on.
My father used to say that all the time. It's Friday. Let's order a pie. What do you want on it? I don't want nothing on it, stupid.
The reason I'm laughing is because it's the truth. It's the truth. I got
Look
plain.
at that.
Nice. I keep it nice and original for you. It's so good you don't need any toppings, right?
It's standing up.
Look at that.
It's strong. It's not
Yeah.
flopping.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to have a nice bite to it.
It's going to have a nice bite to it. I already bit mine.
I've been waiting for this.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice bite to the dough. Flavorful dough. And you can tell the cheese is top quality. Super solid cheese. Really good slice. Really good slice. I don't know if it's better than New York, but it's a really good slice. No, it is. This is one of the best slices I've had.
If your mother was here right now, would she say, stop eating with your mouth full? No, stop talking with your mouth.
this is absolutely
Stop talking with your mouth full. What are you, a gavone?
It's all about respect. Show some respect for yourself, Nick, and eat the pizza the right way.
This is really, really good.
Nicky, you're just like your father.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister. She's 5 years younger than me. She got all the good genes, and I got what was left over, but she's a great kid. She had to deal with growing up with the stigma of having me as her older brother when she did good. Good kid. Love you, G.
This is really good.
You have two siblings as well, right?
I have an older brother and a younger brother. They're
Nice.
both Italian.
I always wanted a brother. Man. Always. That's the best bond.
Grano's on Park Avenue here in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. In September of 2024, every other Monday night is going to feature some stand-up comedians starting on September 16. Now, I don't know when this podcast right here is going to air, but we'll start talking about it. And we'll talk about all the new sponsors that are going to be part of where we're going. And on that particular week, I'm going to be doing 6 different shows throughout the state of New Jersey. And that's quite a ways away. So I'm going to start asking Nick from now, right here, live on my show, Live from My Mother's Basement, if you'd like to be part of where we're going, what we're doing, and take the risk of getting on stage and just doing some stand-up. All you got to really do is be your real personality. Yeah. The rest of the comedians in the show, we're going to take it from there. It's like being in a marathon. Yeah. You pass the baton to the next guy, then the next guy, then the next guy, and we run to the rest of the area and get the hell out of Dodge. So I think that would be really, really cool. And one of the first places we'll try will be Grano.
Oh, yeah. Solid. As long as we get a couple slices each.
Oh, we don't get paid. We just get food.
Yeah, we get a couple slices each. I'm good. Solid slice.
Not like that at Grano. You get 2 slices and a meatball sandwich.
No, but Mike, I love that. I really appreciate that. I'd love to be a part of it. You know, that's my dream to be, a performer, and I just haven't grown a pair of balls big enough to really get on stage yet.
Well, you got the balls to be doing what you're doing on the internet.
Yeah. No, I know. that was one of the things I said. That was one of the toughest things about starting doing the videos, Mike, is just saying, I don't care what anybody thinks. Everybody I know in my life is gonna see this, and everybody I ever met growing up is gonna see all this stuff. I don't care. I just want to have fun, make people laugh, make people smile. People already think I'm crazy, so. But.
Well, why don't you tell everybody where they can find all this craziness that you're doing on the internet?
So the best way to find me is Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at #1 Guido. Now it's NUMBA, #1 Guido, GUIDO, not number one Guido. So the #1 Guido, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Why? There's an R in number?
Yeah, that's what people.
Wait a minute. We went to the same school.
Yeah, that's what people are telling me. I say, what?
There's an R in number?
The #1 Guido. The #1.
Do me a favor. Tell everybody what a Guido is.
Listen, a Guido is somebody that looks good, feels good, all right? You got to be Italian. You got to have the nice white sneakers. You got to have the chain. You got to have the rings. You got to have a way with the ladies. You got to talk well, and you got to be a family guy. I mean, and anything else you want to do from there is up to you, but you got to have those staples. What do you think? What would you say a Guido is, Mike?
When I was younger, me and my brothers were never considered Guidos because we had really thick, long, blonde hair and blue eyes, and we looked extremely German or Irish. So even if I was good at dancing, even if I wore Capizios, even if I wore Shams de Baron, even if I had my Drucker Noir cologne from the 80s, even if I could dance, even if I could break dance, even if I could do the backflip worm on the dance floor, I was still white trash. And all I ever wanted to be was a Guido. Especially on the Jersey Shore, when people would say, Guido, go home. And I'm like, we are home. I own the house.
We are home.
I own the house.
We're going to have to spin the camera around and have my dad breakdance for us real quick to take us out.
I never even knew I was saying Italian slang words when I moved to California. I thought I was just a normal guy.
Exactly.
You go to the restaurant, I'm like, let me get the money guts. The what? What happened?
What?
The money gut?
No. You don't realize. You don't realize till you walk out of your mother's basement, there's a whole world out there that's different than us.
We're gonna put that. We're gonna put your meatballs on Wonder Bread. What happened? Wonder? Who's wondering? All right, so this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, thanks
hanging
for
around
having
with
me.
Nick down in the basement, guys. You got to watch what he's doing. Nick, do you sell shirts that say
yes,
respect the schmear?
I got respect the schmear shirts on the Instagram, on the TikTok, in the bio, and yeah, man.
You got a
like
website?
The support. I did have a website for a little bit, but I wasn't making too much money off it, so I just started doing the shirts with the Hardcore Italians and just keeping it that way.
Oh, no shit. You do things with the Hardcore Italians too, with the shirts?
So Respect the Schmear, they're helping me with selling those. Me and Mike kind of made a design together, and they're helping me push them a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
How great is that?
Yes.
Guys, Hardcore Italians, I talk about them every day
Yes.
because Hardcore Italians sell a shirt that says, Make America Italian Again. And you can get them in the hat. Give me a hat.
And what about
That one right there.
And what about Mike Marino 2024, baby? Don't forget that.
Yeah. I'm running for president. I've been running for president for 17.6 years. A couple more years, once I get in there, I could retire.
Make America Italian again, baby.
And respect the schmear.
Yeah, and respect the
Respect
Schmear while
the
you're
schmear.
at it.
I want to thank my guest, Nick, for coming down to the basement and hanging out with us.
My pleasure, Mike.
Big shout out to my producer, Tatiana Bluchel, for always making sure we have a great guest come down the basement and making sure the podcast is on the air on my YouTube channel, exclusively on my YouTube channel, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Jersey time.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike Marino live on YouTube. We're also on Italian American Radio out of New York City, and of course Spotify. And if you go to my Spotify account, you don't have to just listen to the show, but you can watch the show right now. We got to get going. You know the motto, let's make America Italian again. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, and you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my broadcasts by saying the same thing with my guest? Don't take no shit from nobody. Ready?
Yeah.
Don't take no shit from nobody.
Nobody,
You really
cuz.
got into that. That was
Oh,
was
yeah,
good.
I like that.
I like that.
Some emphasis on that.
And see you later.
Hey folks, thanks for watching Live from My Mother's Basement. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, hit the word like and leave me a really cool comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes, and you can watch some of the funniest videos on the internet. You can also listen to the show on Spotify or your favorite podcast app.